question. Clause 40. Thank you. There is none. Let me put the question. The question is that clause 40 stand part of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. Clause 40 now stands part of the bill. Clause 41. Any comments on that clause before I put the question? There is none. I will therefore put the question. The question is that clause 41 stand part of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Clause 41 therefore stands part of the bill. Clause 42. Any comments on that clause before I put the question? I see none. I will therefore put the question. And the question is that clause 42 stand part of the schedule, part of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Clause 42 now stands part of the bill. Clause 43. Any comments on that clause? I take it there is none. Therefore, we'll put the question. The question is that clause 43 stand part of the bill. Those in favor, say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Clause 43 now stands part of the bill. Clause 44. Any comments on this clause before I put the question? Again, if there is none, let me put the question. The question is that clause 44 stand part of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Okay, those against say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Clause 44 now stand part of the bill. Clause 45. Any comments on that clause? Again, if there is none, let me put the question. The question is that clause 45 stand part of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Clause 45 therefore stand parts of the bill. Clause 46. Any comments on that clause before I put the question? Again, if there is none, I'm going to put the question, and the question is that clause 46 stand part of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Clause 46 therefore stand part of the bill. Clause 47. Any comments on that clause before I put the question? There is none, and therefore I will put the question. And the question is that clause 47 stand part of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Clause 47 now stands part of the bill. Clause 48. Honourable members, there is an amendment proposed to this clause as appeared on business paper number 52. Let me ask the Minister to move the amendment. Honourable Minister, please.
Thank you, Chairman. So I move that clause 48 is amended in new section 21A, inserted in sub-clause 6 after building practitioner, insert within 3 days from the date of inspection. Thank you. This is based on the recommendation from the Bills and Legislative Committee as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable members, before I put the question, does any member wish to comment on this amendment? Thank you. If there is none, let me put the question. The question is that clause 48 is amended in new section 2A, inserted in subclause 6 after building practitioner, insert new section 21A, inserted in subclause 6 after building practitioner, insert within 3 days from the date of inspection. All those in favor, please say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Clause 48 therefore stands amended accordingly. And before I put a question on this clause, does any member wish to comment on that clause as amended? Thank you. If there is none, let me put the question. The question is that clause 48 as amended stand part of the bill. All those in favor say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Clause 48 as amended therefore stands part of the bill. Clause 49, any member wish to comment on this clause before I put the question? Clause 49. Thank you. If there is none, I will put a question, and the question is that clause 49 stand part of the bill. All those in favor, say aye. Those against, say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Clause 49 therefore stands part of the bill. Clause 50. Any member wish to comment on that clause before I put the question? If there is none, I'm going to put the question. The question is that clause 50 stand part of the bill. Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Those against, say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Clause 50 now stands part of the bill. Clause 51. Any comments on this clause? I see none, and I will therefore put a question. The question is that clause 51 stand part of the bill. Those in favor, say aye. Those against, say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Clause 51 stand part of the bill. Clause 52. Any comments on this clause before I put a question? If there is none, I'm going to put a question. The question is that clause 52 stand part of the bill. Those in favor, say aye. Those against, say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Clause 52, therefore, now stands part of the bill. Clause 53, honourable members, there is an amendment proposed to this clause, as appeared in the business paper number 52. And I ask the Minister to move the amendment. Mr. Honourable Minister, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Sir, I move that clause 53 is amended as follows. A, in new clause 32A, 1, at the reference of maximum penalty, substitute 20,000 units with 50,000 units. B, in new clauses 32A, 2, 3, 5, and 6, at the reference to maximum penalty, substitute 50,000 units with 150,000 units, and 10 years with 15 years. C, in new clause 32A5C1, substitute Planning and Development Act, Cap 154, with the National Building Standards Act 2025. D, in new clauses 22A6B1, substitute Planning and Development Act, Cap 154, with National Building Standards Act 2025. And E, the new sections 32A6B2, substitute tax with authorize. This is in response to the recommendation made by the Bills and Legislative Committee as well. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Before I put the question, does any member wish to comment on this amendment? Thank you, Honourable Chair of the Bills and Legislation Committee.
Chairman, thank you. Thank you, Minister, for interim amendment following recommendation by the Bills and Legislation Committee for the host ministries where the bill come. The penalty units waiting motivation also correspond. So some for law me because hosting ministry policy blogata okati insist lohem so hem go kolom but sabos you koluluhem okat no consistent and some fala ia laws me high imprisonment high units low you mean must consistent and I think Minister and PS technical staff for that one. Let's be consistent make them okata laws me okata sinim same chorus no ma unless him required somewhere else. Yeah, because that one, me fala struggle with him, but the minister had taken him up. This is where him should start him and him to take him from here. Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Chair of Bills and Legislation Committee. Any other comments on this amendment? Honourable MP for Small Malaita.
Thank you. Me look going on. This is a new section, a new clause where Minister him read him come here 32A. Subclause 6B, where me reading can be numerical 1 and be numerical 2, but me no hear him reading any amendments long or numerical maximum penalty. And one for amendment law there too, also one for amendment law there too, but me no hear him.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Yes, apologies. Section 53(6)B, the amendment is Law 2, remove the tax officer to authorize. Is this the one you're referring to? Yes, so I've read that. That's letter E in new section 32A6B2, substitute tax with authorized officer. Is that the amendment you're referring to, or the maximum penalties?
The maximum penalties no me no hear him. Authorized officer me hear him, but
Okay. Yes, so that's correct. The maximum penalties here remove 50,000 units and replace with 150,000 units, and remove 10 years and replace it with 15 years. Thank you so much, member for Small Maleta and one and only namesake.
spoil all way.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Any further comments on this post-amendment despite with a question? Thank you. If there is none, sorry, Honourable MP for East Arare.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for all these offences as well. I think it just means that closer cooperation between the ministries, relevant ministries, and the police. I think that would be what it's calling for here now in terms of these offences, because it will be police matters. So I think it just needs you follow a story with them, or what a policeman will be good now. Like me implement them what offences are good. Because I think we know that we make offences, but then somehow I'm not implemented no more. Perhaps because I'm stuck with them in what the ministries no more. But this one, yeah, I'm bro police matter to me. So you go report to lot police now about something I make him what to do work for that they came out money go for through criminal process. Yeah, so I think the two processes is here now in me maritime two good in terms of reporting and then allowing police to follow up with them process. Thank you.
No, thank you. Honourable Attorney General.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, MP for East Arara for that question, and also to thank MP for West Arara also mentioned similar style question. In terms of the penalties, after the passage of the Legislation Act of 2023, we've been going into an exercise, Office Blumi, for try and start for unifying every of the penalties. So we've embarked on an exercise, and we started last year with the Attorney General's Conference of Parties. This year we'll be hosting the second one, which is next week on Monday and Tuesday, which is a whole government initiative where bringing everyone come. So we'll start talking about each legislation, each one. So we've done it's like a fabric of laws where each ministries, before I say laws, you know this one. You start to reviewing each one law, then we look him how now, what are penalties here, and what the policy for each penalties, why, if I'm 50,000, how many years, what's the equivalent, what kind of thing. So that's ongoing now. And in terms of what offences, I think Ministry of Justice too, also with him, DPP, of the every legal agencies inside, start to come together for look him how now, try and think different, So it's in progress, and hopefully we'll see something come to our house in the not so distant future. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Attorney General. Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, me just like to say, bar of good something now, Attorney General do. time blow you will before ba, time UPS here,
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman. Man UPS you have every law ministry will implement in. So my PS time come to bills committee and me will ask them, hey, you two talk I UPS you how eh? So this one bar of a good. PSCs, commissioners, directors, those entrusted with statutory powers must know both the base legislation where we implement him and the limits of those powers, because all no bar of front line for implementing. So this one bar of good something, and perhaps IPAM could be strengthened also. Work at doing make a minister of police and no hard work too much for police because PS doing what work blow it, so everything's set no more now. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, noted honorable leader of opposition. Any no comment? I will now put the question. The question is that clause 53 is amended as follows. A, in new clause 32A1 at the reference to maximum penalty, substitute 20,000 units with 50,000 units. B, in clauses 32A2 32A subclause 2, 3, 5, and 6 at the reference to the maximum penalty, substitute 50,000 units with 150,000 units and 10 years with 15 years. C, in new clause 32A5 C1, substitute Planning and Development Act, Cap 154 with National Building Standards Act 2025. D, in new clause 32A, subclause 6B1, substitute Planning and Development Act, Cap 154 with National Building Standards Act 2025. And E, in new section 32A, subsection 6B2, substitute tax with authorized. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Clause 53 therefore stands amended accordingly. And before I put the question in respect of clause 53, does any member wish to comment on this clause as amended? There is none. Let me put the question. The question is that clause 53 as amended stand part of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Clause 53 as amended therefore stands part of the bill. Clause 54. Does any member wish to comment on this clause before I put the question? Thank you, Honourable MP for Central Honiara.
Chairman, it is, you can rule me off, but something to do with them possible legislation that could have been amended. One volve meeting not mamara. It is all to deal with building standards too, where we basically exempt him order from certain requirements. Possibly because Guadalcanal province have yet to come up with any provincial building standard yet. But just question no more, Minister no more, whether or not somehow long your own research, Mamarata Sibarongo Bilia and appear or rather believe or no more, because everyone else member blow Mamara, everyone she don't front believe. So I think that's one reason why they all remain very quiet. There's no regimenting about Mamara. But Mamara is a Bilia. I strongly feel that Babahem still fall under certain requirements of the new bill that we are working on. Just out of interest, Minister, has it ever come across your team? You Tanigolo man behind you and ask him. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Chair of PAC. Minister.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, the Chairman for the PAC. To be honest with you, I'm not really quite well versed with the Mamara Act. However, it is my understanding that from going forward, once this bill is passed, because inshallah, the bill itself, say any development within in Solomon Island territories or boundaries, either land or maritime. So I would assume that AG will support me on this matter. But with that definition, yeah, any development will happen in Solomon, whether Solomon waters or Solomon Sea land, will be subjected to the building code. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable MP for Central Honiara.
I'm really happy with that response from Minister. Yeah? And I think as soon as you pass in this one, you quickly put him that Mamara Bill or Act under the Red Bloodishala law here. So you look law the post law there, yeah? 2 inches no more. Man will walk about there, but calls up house, I'm full on no more. But what managed to stop there. So me asking him through you, say, making money and quick time no more. After this one, yeah, put him na Marayelo. Straight first one now for must review now and then thank you.
Thank you, Honorable MP for Central Honiara, and I'm sure. Oh, sorry, Honorable Attorney General.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, MP for Central Honiara and Chairman PAC for that question. Application of laws, believe me, just for noting no more that any laws we have come, let's say, maybe passing this one, any laws we have previous, this one have override them, supersede them. So the later act has prevalence over the earlier acts. For example, we did the Environment Act there. Sometime Environment Act him come in, every laws behind it subject to him. You must get him development consent or similar time after him pass. So it's the same thing that applies now. Because this one him now come in, anything before that, we'll have to comply with him National Building Standards Act and not time come into force. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable MP for Small Malaysia.
Thank you, Mr. Abnormal, for telling me happy law minister. Then me happy more law AG. Happiness blow me now. But one in by him, oh yeah, me happy law member for Central Honiara and Chairman law PAC for him raising this one. I'm true to us, yeah. I'm talk about the pipe law post here. What been all about no more, but not one. Me want to raise him or someone who am stuck inside the house west or building law. There no story lo me. I'm say me stop lo room lo bedroom yeah. I'm so story with them now run lo bedroom lo nar side. This one true one, you will not but them true one yeah. So two one is a story. Naran lo bedroom nar side. So story come lo naran lo bedroom of this house. So Mr. Chairman. This one, in kind of law no more, I'm spoiling law, human rights, and in kind of law, privacy, and also custom. And so, one where me like for me look like man is Chairman of law PAC, you ask for repeal, yes, repealing. Lawyer, I have passed law 1994 yet, you all go look what now, what do you mean inside? No, anything, something was been all about and what house when one like stuff inside, no more stuff. So that one, no, me happy law minister, me happy law AG, me happy law PAC chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable
Yes.
PAC.
Yes. Narawan be me just passing boy. SEZ. Special Economic Zone. Emotion. That one now, it will not touch him, then throw him out. It will look good to him. Emotion. No good, it will touch him, it will throw him out. No any SEZ lo you know. Emotion. So this where government policy has to come out very strong. Emotion. So SEZ na middle bit worry him. Good, it will to touch him by no in SEZ now, because I'm not sure. I think a lot of standard issues have become a problem long SEZ. Hem no more. So, Minister, I know you are, this guy is ready to take off here. As he said, no more, you must save him. Thank you. Hem no more. Yeah.
Thank you. Noted. All Minister, any comments?
Thank you, Chairman. Like I said, this bill covers all territories under Solomon Islands, which is defined by the Constitution and Immigration Act, and all waters. So all the concerns that you've raised are noted. And yes, the main purpose of this bill is to create safer infrastructure for our people. So any investment or any development that happen, we will ensure that it has to fall under this. It has to be subjected to the National Building Code. Thank you, Public Accounts Committee Chairman and Small Maleka. Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, let me put the question. The question is that clause 54 stand part of the bill. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Clause 54, therefore, stand part of the bill. Clause 55. Any comments on that clause before I put the question? If there is none, let me put the question. The question is that clause 55 stand part of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Clause 55, therefore, now stands part of the bill. Next consideration for the committee is the long title. Honourable members, there is an amendment proposed to the long title of the bill as appeared on business paper number 52. Let me ask the Minister to move the proposed amendment. Honourable Minister, please.
Thank you, Chairman. So I move that in the long title, delete committee and substitute the following: board, and to make a consequential amendment to Schedule 3 of the Provincial Government Act 1997. Thank you, Chairman.
Maybe, sorry,
Can you ask?
I have not yet asked any comments on that
Oh,
clause.
no, yeah, I know, but I think there is a very, very important one that me just like raising no more. Sir, with your indulgence.
Point of order, if you want to raise it in relation to the proposed amendment that the Minister has read out, or
No, sir, unfortunately
can
not.
take it outside of the scope of what will be the proposed amendment?
Sir,
Unless-
no, it's the notices that are coming into this house that me worry lo him. Just to follow me olem lo there, Honourable Leader lo me yana or name lo here. And the Minister of Infrastructure, is it the same papers that are now tabled into this house? Or this one, to follow lo here. Minister for Infrastructure is the Honourable Leader of Independent. Can you just check on that before you go to the amendment that you wanted the Minister for and move on? Huh?
That's all right. Maybe can you specifically refer to that, or Honourable Leader of Opposition?
It might be helpful if we go back to the original notice paper. And so that motion for long title there has been duly fulfilling notice requirement on the notice paper, so we can proceed.
That I think is only that reference for members, but on the notice paper, what appears there is actually this proposed amendment or change. And the Minister has Minister, can you move the amendment? Oh, sorry, you already moved. And now I'm going to invite any comments on the proposed amendment as read out by the Minister. Any comments on the proposed amendment? If there is none, I'm going to put the question. The question is that in the long title, delete committee and substitute the following: board, and to make a consequential amendment to Schedule 3 of the Provincial Government Act 1997. All those in favor say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The long title of the bill therefore stands amended accordingly and stands part of the bill. But before I put the question in respect of the long title of the bill, does any member wish to comment on this title as amended? Thank you. If there is none, let me put the question. The question is that the long title as amended stand part of the bill. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The long title as amended therefore stand part of the bill. Honourable members, that concludes our proceedings on this bill, and this committee is now dissolved, and the Minister in charge of the bill will report to Parliament when Parliament resumes. Thank you. Parliament is resumed. Minister, please.
Mr. Speaker, I wish to report that the National Building Standards Bill 2025 has been passed through the Committee of the Whole House with amendments.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Minister reports that due consideration of the bill by the Committee of the Whole House with amendments, National Building Standards Bill 2025 is now deemed to be set down for third reading.
Bills, third reading, the National Building Standards Bill 2025.
Honourable Minister, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, I move that the National Building Standards Bill 2025 be now read a third time and do pass.
Thank you, honourable members. It is proposed that the National Building Standards Bill 2025 be now read a third time and do pass. Does any member wish to contribute to the debate on the motion before I put the question? Thank you. If there is none, honourable members, I will put a question. And the question is that the National Building Standards Bill 2025 be now read a third time and do pass. All those in favour, say aye. Aye. Those against, say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The motion is therefore passed.
Bill 2025. Motion of special adjournment.
Honourable Prime Minister, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Speaker, I move that its adjournment on Friday, 15 August 2025. Parliament shall adjourn to Monday, 13th October 2025. Sir, the reasons for this special adjournment to allow the Bills and Legislation Committee to hold its inquiry or deliberative meetings into the Public Service Bill as well as the Mineral Resources Bill. Mr. Speaker, as members will be aware, both of these bills have been transmitted to Parliament. So the purpose of this special adjournment is to ensure that due parliamentary process is followed and that the Bills and Legislation Committee has adequate time to consider the timing, scope, arrangements for the inquiries. And of course, we hope that their reports, or the committee's reports on these two important pieces of legislation will be ready when we resume in mid-October. On that note, let me at this juncture take the opportunity to thank the Chairman and members of the Bills and Legislation Committee for the excellent ongoing work in terms of the inquiries into the pieces of legislation, including on the one that we just passed, which is very, very important. So the Public Service Bill represents a major reform to the governance, accountability and operational framework of our public service. It will modernize the way our public service is structured, managed and held to account. It will have far-reaching impacts on how government delivers services to our people. Similarly, the Mineral Resource Bill is critical to the sustainable management, regulation and development of our mineral sector. It will provide a modern legal framework to govern exploration, extraction and benefit sharing from our mineral resources, ensuring that our nation derives maximum and fair benefit from this sector while safeguarding our environment and communities. Mr. Speaker, both bills will require careful, transparent and inclusive scrutiny by the Bills and Legislation Committee before they are brought for our deliberations for debate. This will also allow stakeholders, including government ministries, industry representatives, civil society, and the public to provide input. So by adjourning now, Parliament will give the committee space and time that it needs to carry out its important preparatory work. It will also ensure that when these bills come before this House, members will be fully informed and the debate will be based on thorough and considered recommendations. So this is the main reason for this special adjournment. But also in addition to that, the next few weeks will be very busy as well for the government in terms of budget preparations for the 2026 budget. So a number of ministers, especially Minister of Finance, Public Service and Planning, will lead the budget consultations for the 2026 appropriation bill. I also understand there are also a number of important trips for one or two trips for ministers, especially the Regional Infrastructure Conference in Brisbane next week that the Minister of MID and others will attend on our behalf. So with this special adjournment, time is given, ample time is given to the Bills and Legislation Committee to undertake its inquiry and hearings, and hopefully its reports will be ready when we resume on October 13th. And I think we've just deliberated and passed the Building Standard Code 2025. And I think the level of engagement, collaboration between the Bills and Legislation Committee as well as the sponsoring ministry of the government, I think the one that we've just witnessed is good. And that's a healthy approach in terms of lawmaking. And we hope a similar process will continue to evolve and happen between the BLC in terms of its recommendation, in terms of the government, looking at the recommendations and taking up those recommendations as we just did for the bill that we have passed. So I hope that is a healthy development in our legislation. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I commend this motion to the House, and I beg to move that upon adjournment on Friday, 15 August 2025, Parliament shall adjourn to Monday, 13th October 2025.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. Honourable members, it is proposed that at its adjournment on Friday, 15th of August 2025, Parliament shall adjourn to Monday, 13th of October 2025. If any member wish to contribute to the motion before I put the question. Thank you, Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Thank you, sir. To speak in support of the Honourable Prime Minister's motion and to also affirm the collaborative approach and spirit between sponsoring ministries and the Bills and Legislation Committee, so we can advance legislation smoothly, but also to strengthen proposed legislation. This one had me but a good one, and Minister Blo MID approach by him has been very good. Maybe a young man and energetic and a nice bowler, so working with him has been a good experience. This one very important. We mustn't, sponsoring ministries must not think also Bills and Legislation Committee is the enemy or they're trying to spoil the bill. No, far from it. The Bills Committee's interest is always to strengthen legislation to achieve government's own stated policy objectives. So when a bill comes to the committee and stakeholders appear, the committee always, like for survey, policy, blow government, all same, and therefore the objects of the bill, hemi all same, hem capture them. First question now, oh no more, oh you must strengthen them more, all same, recommendations come now. And do the provisions, the detailed proposals in the bill support those objects? Objects tell them one thing, but bill and watered down and diluted, have no bar of deliver. So Bills Committee would then come up with recommendations to strengthen so that policy intentions below government can be delivered in and by the legislations that are proposed. So it's an important part of our parliamentary process. But Minister Blo MID by Mitwal Gold next week to Brisbane and now Mitwal by the story good law. How now? Committee process must work. Again, I come back to the comment earlier in committee, sir. The Prime Minister's letter to you on your ruling on prerequisite matters that will lead to your satisfaction under Standing Order 48 here. That what you must issue come, that fella ruling below you here. Then him fair law government, so that sponsoring ministries come knowing what they have to submit. And at the same time, him no putum Bills Committee on the back foot. When those prerequisites are not there, but you have deemed it satisfactory, and so you put them on notice paper, then Bills Committee has to deal with it. But then if we end up in a situation where those prerequisites were not fulfilled, and now also me experiencing today. So I think both sides, we just want clarity so that we can move smoothly as we expedite or proposed legislation where he may come. Also, of course, in the interim, Solomon Islands and the Prime Minister will be hosting the Pacific Islands Forum leaders, ministers and officials by Kam, Yumi Lo Honera and Lonoro. So I wish the Prime Minister and Foreign Minister well, success in those meetings. The region has been very good to us and maybe good for hosting the region and show that we appreciate all their generosity and kindness to us in our time of need, and that not only have we benefited from that generosity, but that we have grown also. So it'll be a wonderful opportunity, and no doubt in the social events surrounding the meetings that many of us will be able to meet regional leaders in functions and know what something else. Take the opportunity to meet and network throughout the region, and good for country below you me, as you me. Chart him a much more uncertain world where region below you me need to pull together. This one, Barava important to us. So, just on matters finance, Government, of course, will start working on budget for below next year. It'd be great if we can deal with it end of this year so that when we go into next year, you may hit the ground running. And some thought is given to cash flow, how we can overcome this cash flow situation so that ministries are able to, beginning of the year, work now. This kind where beginning law, every warrant signed and everything must go to planning, we fulfill all the paperwork, but then go, hey, you know, many go, imagine po point to planning go what, you know, fulfilling all of that is very important, but ticking all those boxes is not the goal. It must not displace the goal. The goal is delivery of services to the people. But cash flow now is the tail that continues to wag the dog. And so many, many important things that should happen. Health is a very good example. All the good reforms that the minister had tried for work hard learn. He needs the cash. No matter you may put selling staka inside budget, but no any cash here, and frustrated. And then all the processes here, procurements and the rest of it. So if you may delay more and we will deal with him the first quarter, that's even worse go more. By the time you may cast him middle of year or third quarter, or with something to start to flow, this one, I mean, not good for delivery of services to our people, and it's frustrating, of course, to ministries. So in terms of finance, we must overcome this. There must be a way we can overcome it. You cannot live on this perennial, almost perpetual cycle of cash flow title. We must overcome it. We must look into it and take steps to remedy this situation and maintain sufficient or adequate levels of cash that enables government to deliver on time. Mr. Speaker, let me flag him over issues here no more so that time finance will look budget and also must look carefully for this whole matter. With those few comments, sir, I support the Prime Minister's motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Leader. Honourable Chair of the Bills and Legislation Committee.
Thank you, Speaker. Me subscribe to what the Leader of the Opposition had put him come in response to the motion by the Honourable Prime Minister and also in support. Me also support him, Prime Minister. Law dual bills where I have come the committee, the public service with the mineral resources to follow quite important public service and throughout the whole country in terms of secondment to the provinces, Mr. Speaker, and minerals, land, sea, also and so me very happy for look at the bills here, committee below me. Me already shared with him, Prime Minister, my committee, no karem strength here for me to persevere through challenges. There is a need for me to facilitate responsibilities for me for inquiry and also. So Prime Minister has noted that please support him come committee if we need resources, and my committee secretariat put him come at request there. Prime Minister take him ministers take note those sponsoring ministers. We've been dealing with the important requirements for the committees blame me as we have cited in the standing orders. You pay attention to make him help him achieving bills in a manner that him expect him. So we are ready to look into those bills by extensively requiring the stakeholders for him. So we'll see how him fit him everyone inside. Thank you for the adjournment as well. And because I'm Mifaroga chairman by Mifal Level Kokolo constituency. First time then Mifal come. 2 days or so, then Mifal started now, but we'll look forward to the bills here. The important forum leaders meeting whereby me also joining leader for congratulating Prime Minister, government and our country for hosting. And something named Imtala law warm up him now, and let's do it. asimta someone alan imta like for also resistem imta lodia. We deal with the issues. We have the leaders. We trust Prime Minister. You will lead our country to represent the intentions and views of our region. Lot is forum opportunity, and so I also would like to join government to welcome our foreign leaders and officials to our shores, and will, in any way possible, will try to also help them enjoy our happy hours. Was over the staff here, Mr. Speaker. So the budget, we also interested him, and I think good point now. Leader him come away him. Let's to address this one cash flow. Make him time me go ministry him start him January go now. Him to implement him more so our development budget. I think that one low interest by into everyone. Let's look at how not by into set up that one, because every year no more that to him. But with him that one, thank you Prime Minister. Me support him motion.
Thank you, Honourable MP for Western Area. Any further comments? Honourable MP for Central Honiara.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Me by comment a little bit normal. Me follow the show bench here. Leader in lawyer, but there are two follow issue where Prime Minister him tell him na bara me. Inshallah, Mr. Public service, yeah, true now. Public service act here, and the minerals. I mean, one has to do one time the structural situation of the country, the public service, and the other is we are looking for sector that by driving growth in the country. So two are a very important one. I'm pleased that you have given time for the bills and legislation to scrutinize it now, Emerson. So thank you now, Prime Minister, to give the priority to those to bill. Public service and most in me like to comment a little bit low. The experience from minimum before when the country went down this part two, we were basically hitting the bottom two during those times. One of the key sector that we was in the country at that time, government in Madras is basically the public sector. So, Prime Minister, you are on the right track. Take that path, and then find him a way as to how look into possibly reshaping the process of budgeting the country. I know that Minister of Finance has been thinking about all of this. I think in about time for him, he really look at sizable public sector. Not only just reviewing the legislation, but we need to reform the whole structure too. Bring in effectiveness and efficiency into the public sector. Efficiency in the public sector will also drive economic efficiency, freeing up resources, and also setting the right confidence, for the private sector to have the confidence along public sector also. I really support the idea that the Prime Minister has stated that the time need to be given to the bills and legislation to look into these two bills. This mineral sector, we are almost, off the cliff, so then good now you quickly pick him up now this legislation and come back again so that we can put ourselves on the right track. Because as we look around how now we can transition the situation to a better pathway, it will still be a very difficult pathway. I think you may need for realistically look into those two sectors, the mineral sector and fishery sector. Please, Prime Minister, give a better instruction and quality instruction to the officials here to save the bills and legislation so that we can get those And also, whilst I'm on that note, don't forget too that Public Accounts Committee and stand ready. Yeah? We are all prepared. We are ready. But don't give me 1 week. You at least give me 2 weeks. Yeah? So it's 1 week, but you may delay a little bit here. Yeah? Last time we said 1 day, but I'm all right. Yeah? No more, me lie a little bit. Yeah. Give us at least 2 weeks so that we can run through it. But me like asking you for supporting normal proposition that we want to go and then visit other jurisdiction so that we can fast track the process of appropriation. This process bringing this time here, we are basically involved in Parliament the formulation of the budget, through the Public Accounts Committee. I think we should give space to the Minister of Finance to be able to efficiently pass the Appropriation Act. And this can be, we can look at the experiences of other jurisdictions. So I'm not eating Blomivale. Mival knows if you will say, no more go walk about, so Mival like ask for a little bit space for go walk about. This is a very good opportunity for the bills and the Public Accounts Committee and also the House Committee too. All the House Committees should stop no more, but right no more. We are putting out that proposition together so that we can look at other jurisdictions, possibly starting off with the unicameral system that all the Gardens were New South Wales, and then maybe move come along Queensland, and then we come back here, and if we can have the time and space, you may try for trialing here also. Yeah? But that's suppose you will finding resources, then it is only a suggestion no more. If we can be able to find resources, then Team Blomifals will move around and then look at what are the options, so that we can change the standing order and then allow government, in particular the Minister of Finance, space for him to efficiently, put him in the budget and the appropriation for to be formalized by our Parliament in a more efficient way, I must say. Yeah? So, sir, government please to think normal budget, not to think too much about trip level. Am I right? You will go around a lot trip, what other activities that are coming up. Give us a little bit time. If we come back along October, I'm only giving maybe November no more for me or for sit down here. I must say, possibly we will ask him to special agenda for another 2 or 3 weeks more here to allow the PAC for him sit down for the budget. Having said that, something that is related to the budget no more. You may try to look good no more current situation what's affecting all of this. We're not the real problem, the cash flow situation. Everyone you may run meet the corridor and say, what time here was here? Me too, me wonder what time here. I must say, Finance Minister, look very seriously the digital matter. What time now? But you mean a little bit alright. Most of them thinking that by third quarter, by tough time, look was him tough to hear. Please don't think about the toughness of these times. Find him no more where now we can be able, to help him more the constituencies play. Well, President belong new country, South Sudan, and say, a hungry man is an angry man. You may run a hungry man. So I hope that we are not angry. When I look around here, all these faces really smiling. So I still believe that is only for South Sudan, not for Yumilo here. So that little part no more, look no more, country, you may go for third quarter, no, but 2025 resources here and still not come out yet. Yeah. But I'm all right. I think you are looking very. You will not set up with. You will support me, making more money over that. Yeah, lulu good lawyer and then. So that's on that note. Say, but on a good note, me like for say also Prime Minister, congratulations. Host our leaders in the region in the coming month here. Which we have been through, some challenging times, and during those times, when you may think that, we will be able to do it, but you may not do it, but you were able to do it. Thank you, I must say. Yeah? This is a very special summit here, I must say. The last one that we hosted was 1992, or whatever one year, or go now. So, host this summit well. My thinking no more, we should have hosted a fully placed summit leadership. This leaders summit belongs to the Leaders Club, that regional architects that you may set him up here, and also don't forget the donor partners. Because you may leaders, but you need to talk nothing no more. But as you know that in the region we face a lot of challenges. We need our donor partners to be with us. I would have thought that you would have run a fully pledged PIF meeting, so that you can go out to the whole world and say to them, look, I was able to host this meeting. All our partners are with us. I think I am in a better position to speak about the whole issues and the narratives that we have in the Pacific. The blue economy, the blue continent, whatever, how you may ever label him go Kasim today. But anyway, that's a choice that government you making, and Prime Minister, you have taken that decision. Let's see how we go. But in my humble view, I would have stand firm and then say, no more, look, these Solomon Islands, we want all our friends here, and tell the whole world that this is how we will treat those that have the might, to muscle themselves around, in this global political arena. But we have brought them here, and why they are here is the interest of the Pacific. It is the interest of the Pacific. I don't know why they are here. That's what we should be saying to all our, and the whole world. But anyway, this the situation. So managing well no more. Let us not allow some spillages out from this situation. We are hearing some, uneasy, situation coming out from all the Micronesian states and so forth. Prime Minister, I'm sure that you and the Foreign Minister and your team will handle this very well. But please, make sure no more that we do our best to present our Pacific, because this summit, not blame me, you don't blame me, and Lord leaders, that we get it rotated every year. We basically give the space no more for the leaders to come to our shores and enjoy this privilege, shores, blame me, to share experiences and views on issues of common interest, and also that they may originally affect me very well. By me, because I finished, no more, you will not worry. I must say. So, with all those, what we stated here, I fully support your motion, Prime Minister, and let us all be back here in October for our session again. With those remarks, Mr. Speaker, I support the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable MP for Central Honiara. Any other members wish to talk on the motion? Honourable MP for Small Malaita.
Thank you. Just very briefly, in support of the motion by the Prime Minister, we like to comment also on two main reasons why we put this for a motion for him, and that is to allow time for the BLC for deal with them 12 bills for him come before the House, as well as or give him space and time for the Prime Minister himself and cabinet ministers who will be very, very busy during the coming weeks in preparation for this PIF. I want to underscore what others have said in terms of the importance of this meeting, and that we must make sure not only that the arrangements are done well, but that our friends, well, whether by come, are expected to have also to be treated well by us. As others have said, I think Chairman of PAC, talem tu vala bill where Prime Minister talem wat stami wat lohat bulhem ya. Mi nar tu val tu lohat bulmi. Adbai imi toklohem a little bit later, but me just want to sound him out no more at this point of time as we approach election in a couple of years' time, 2 years' time no more. Electoral reform imi paranidim, so I'd like to propose a little bit ahead of time, make him inside government's legislative calendar and put electoral reform inside there. In terms of the period whereby you may go also in Parliament have recess, me wanted for noting number 2 and for telling notice for the House that me like for you may deal with them standing orders or amendments. And I think the progress which has been achieved so far, hopefully the government will agree to some of the amendments so that come October, you might put some of these amendments through so that you may get an updated set of standing orders. So, I just want to end by reiterating again this point where others have spoken of in terms of the bottom line for us is delivery of services. So, yeah, you may have headlines and flash everywhere or how you may deal with and what something country blow me, but time it around and this whole time in September or August and by the time we resume, sir, in fourth quarter, and this time, I think you will deliver me no more yet, what suppliers blow or suppliers me will send them water. Orders log it out, ask for what time not will pay or something. So me look for minister law MRD law, but finance law, so me happy to must him smile come lo me no. That one and now me like him, delivery. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Me want to sit down now, but me want to say thank you for the motion. I support it.
Thank you, Honourable MP for Small Malaitan. Very Honourable Minister for National Primary Aid Coordination.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity for making a little bit contribution law motion moved by the Honourable Prime Minister. But before that, Speaker, me like to thank him, government, especially Minister of Infrastructure Development, for his bill that just passed, and also to thank those from the other side for the working correctively for me passing this bill. And so, yes, thank you for that. I think like others already touching thing way forward for you, me, for look at this bill for making sure that you may smoothly passing important and something that the government also, especially at the minister and ministry responsible for taking seriously as how you may bring him at the bills. So as others already alluded to, the important reasons behind the motion that the Prime Minister moved from, especially important, like Chair of PACM said, to vala bill siya barfa important and powerful hard blame. That's something that everyone, especially reasons that Prime Minister Hemi would do important for me, especially the bills and of course the budget preparation and the hosting of Pacific Island Forum leaders. Part of trips that the government, especially ministers of the Baitekemia and part of budget preparation and so yes, and that's also important. I think apart from the bill, low budget number that especially for Ministry of National Planning and Development Coordination, we are hope to bring the review of our National Development Strategy law coming week, and especially the report will be also available in Parliament, and so that will help us in terms of our budget preparation law, the findings law, NDS. We are also reviewing our Senate, our National Pipeline infrastructure, and so that will also help the government in terms of our budget preparation. And so I think these are the priority, but on top of that, I think the financing part of it has been important, like others already touching that for government to look at that. I think there's a question raised on how we can implementing our budget smoothly, especially after passing. I think you will note, Speaker, that what sometimes is slow because of the MTD process, and then the midterm reporting, of course, the bidding process, the budget cycle, and then go through the implementation. So I think Hemi probably something for you may look how now by me survey implementing budget as especially lot priorities, policy, and the subject, of course, the government policy priorities. Chair, I think with the support and already working closely, especially the Parliament, we hope that although the remaining half of the year, I have helped to see me ending well, like some already raising that process below me almost me lot third or fourth quarter, but anyway, you mean sometimes because of practice will become normal, but anyways, and important for me push something, especially sometimes the delay lot of ministries do it. But from Ministry of National Planning, I think most of our programs have already clear and approach so that law, finance, and also Ministry, especially ready for make sure we implementing some of our programs and projects. I think law PIF is important. It is others already. I think something that they may support together, especially to follow bench play millionaire side for supporting government, and let's hope to host this meeting successfully, and so that you may awesome team that event can be really important for me as a country to be united, and let's host this event, and so that may something that you may also welcome the support that from you for that too. Anyway, Speaker, thank you for giving me the opportunity supporting this motion.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Minister of Finance and Treasury.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Very briefly and to the point, not to other areas that others have spoken passionately about. Just touching no areas, budget and finance, same where others have raised matters of importance along with me. In terms of our preparation for 2026 budget, I mean, we are still well on track. just have to go through the necessary budgetary committees of the central agency, and then we should come along cabinet, and then we proceed with preparations. So over the baselines, things of same technical preparation, and we done finished. So it would easy for ministry to roll out and then prepare and consult the budget. As much as we'd like, we are timing ourselves to make sure that you may pass him earlier than previously done long other years, so that give him time long officers for prepare the necessary warrants also, so that comes to 2026 you may quickly implement it. I think that's the part that may normally cause of delay in beginning of year budget implementation, not so much of a cash flow issue as a beginning of year. There is no much expenditure pressure that may happen, but because of the preparatory works, the approvals, work plans and all that need to be approved well before you may start for implementing. So that's those are issues that you may like for quickly doing beforehand, that is in, this year, so that as you may beginning next year, you may start off quickly. It won't mean also now you may, although you may on track close at long revenue, but that's the time when expenditure pressure you may start from mount, and then you may face a little bit constraint close at cash flow you may. So that's the preparation for us. Budget will make sure that you may get a good time for PAC for go through. October also, so that you may not experience any delay along that. I think. So that's about our budget preparation for next year. As you know, along this year, you may know, not like last year when we put a lot of reservation and then just to cushion us cash flow, but we try to make sure that we implement the important priorities of government, and given the fact that important events such as Leaders Summit coming up, these are the important things that you may plan for implementing, and therefore you may make sure that you may have the necessary financing available for those activities. Cash flow, briefly no more, sir. It's because of a lot of important priorities that you may have to implement. So you may a little bit slow, disbursement, some projects also, but essential items are really prioritized, and I would like at important events like the PIFs, make sure that you may provide for those and prepare well for what time any continue any priority blog so we'll make sure that you may disperse them and make them constituencies or implement them programs or receive the necessary cash before the end of the year. Sometimes implementation them sabi overlap go along the next year too. So I'm sure that you may sabi go through no matter that one by towards the end of the year. I think I'm normally like for say an and on that matter. Thank you, sir. With those, we support him to his motion of adjournment by Prime Minister.
Thank you. Any other members who wish to comment on the motion? Otherwise, I will ask the Honourable Prime Minister, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me thank the Leader of Opposition, the Chairman of the Bills and Legislation Committee, as well as the MP for West Harare, the Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee and the MP for Central Honduras, and the Chairman of the Parliamentary House Committee and the MP for Small Malaita on the other side of the House, and of course on this side the Minister of Finance and Treasury and the Minister of Planning, who have contributed in support of the motion. So yes, Mr. Speaker, very busy weeks ahead, not only in terms of allowing time for the Bills Committee to focus on those important pieces of legislation, but also in terms of upcoming meetings, the Pacific Island Leaders Forum meeting, the 54th Forum Leaders meeting, which we will host between 8 to the 12th of September, and before that the Pacific Water Ministers Forum, 25 to 28 August, the last week of August. So, Mr. Speaker, I thank them for the support. The forum meeting is very, very important for us as a region, as a member of the forum. Yes, we've come through very difficult times, situations over the years, during which the region has stepped in to help us, to support us. Now we are at a time that we are able to host our brothers and sisters of the region. It's an opportunity for us to showcase that our country is ready, is back to normal. All the arrangements in terms of hosting are underway. They're on schedule pretty much, both for the Forum Leaders meeting here in Onera, the plenary sessions, and of course the retreat session which will be held in Northwestern Province. So those arrangements are in place. Yes, it's an opportunity for us to engage with our leaders. I've already spoken to the fact that we are unable to host the post-forum dialogue, deferring that until such time that the new mechanism is in place. So I've already made that clear. The Minister of Finance has spoken with regards to matters in terms of finance and budget. Of course, the importance of us delivering to our people, to our constituencies. So we hope that his ministry will help all of us in terms of ensuring that some of our projects, especially constituency related, can be delivered on time. Of course, among competing priorities that we have. The chairman of the Public Accounts Committee made reference to the importance of the committee also visiting other jurisdictions and see how they work in terms of processing the appropriation bill in Parliament. I take note of the suggestion and the request to look into funding support and to facilitate that initiative. I've also had the chairman of the Bills and Legislation Committee in terms of maybe support that the committee may need in terms of facilitating its inquiry. We'll look into that, Chairman. We'll get the two relevant ministries, in this case Mines and Energy and Public Service, to see how best to support the work of the Bills and Legislation Committee. Yes, back to the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee in terms of the appropriation bill. Of course, normally we give 2 weeks for the PAC to scrutinize the appropriation bill. So we'll stick to that 2 weeks, and hopefully within that 2 weeks, when we get there, probably end of October or first 2 weeks of November, once the appropriation bill for next year is ready and it's before the House, then we'll make sure that the PAC has ample time to scrutinize the 2026 appropriation bill 2026. So those were the comments that were raised. Of course, the importance of the electoral reform bill. The chairman of the Parliamentary House Committee raised that. I take note of that. There are a number of other important pieces of legislation that are yet to come. You have the electoral reform bill. You also have the electricity amendment bill that we would like to also bring. May not be this year, hopefully early next year. Of course, there is also the civil registration bill that has gone through cabinet and probably will come to Parliament very soon as well. So, Mr. Speaker, yes, it will be a busy few weeks ahead in terms of the remaining part of August and September, in terms of the work of the Bills and Legislation Committee, but also our engagements in terms of the PIFs, and before that the Pacific Water Ministers meeting, the regional conferences next week, in terms of infrastructure. So these are important engagements, apart from the budget consultations that the Ministry of Finance and Planning and Public Service will need to undertake as of next week. So, Mr. Speaker, those are the main reasons, and I thank colleagues for supporting the motion. Before I conclude, let me take the opportunity to thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the efficient manner with which you handled our deliberations for the last 2 weeks. On the same note, let me also thank all of you, both sides of the House, the Chairman of the Bills and Legislation Committee, for ensuring that the bill that we've just passed gets to be passed with your report and recommendations. I thank the Leader of Opposition for the usual scrutiny in terms of the legislation process, and all those who have contributed during the last 2 weeks. And of course, let me congratulate my Minister of Infrastructure Development for his work, the excellent work that he has done in terms of presenting the building code to Parliament and have it passed. That's an achievement, and I look forward to other ministers also doing the same in terms of the various bills that are before the House, working closely with the Bills Legislation Committee in terms of how do we deal with some of the recommendations in terms of improving these pieces of legislation, time or come law House. So, Mr. Speaker, thank you to your good self and to both sides of the House for the work of the last 2 weeks, and I'm sure we'll use the next month and a half to work on the other issues and matters that are before us, and of course take time to visit our constituencies if you have time to visit constituencies in the next month and a half. And finally, Mr. Speaker, let me also take the opportunity, since tomorrow is Malaita's appointed day, I should take the opportunity to extend my warm congratulations to the Premier, Executive and Provincial Assembly and the people of Malaita as they celebrate their 42nd appointed day tomorrow, Friday, 15 August 2025. I wish them happy celebrations and all the best going forward. So with that, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the adjournment of Parliament tomorrow, Friday, 15th August, we shall resume on Monday, 13th October 2025. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. Honourable members, I will put a question. The question is that at its adjournment on Friday, 15th August 2025, Parliament shall adjourn to Monday, 13th of October 2025. Those in favour say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. Ayes have it. The motion is passed. Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I move that Parliament do now adjourn.
Thank you, honourable members. The question is that Parliament do now adjourn. All those in favour say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The House is now adjourned until 9:30 a.m. on Friday, 15th August 2025.